Hey guys, quick video today on the Sykov pistol. In this video, I'm going to talk about what makes this gun so good, both in its singular form and when it is dual wielded. I'm not going to be talking about the base gun itself since plenty of other people have already covered it, but I'm going to be talking about what it's like with full attachments, making sure that it's pretty much the loadout you'll be running or you see everyone else running. I think the general consensus is that the gun is really good, but I think a lot of people are missing out on one of the best ways you can run it, especially if you aren't always playing super aggressive and up in people's faces. The first loadout I'll be talking about is with the monolithic suppressor, the full auto barrel, 1 milliwatt laser, GI mini reflex, and the 80 round drum mag. This is a more balanced build and it's supposed to be a sidearm for a mid-range weapon or a long-range weapon. For Akimbo users, pretty much you'll swap out the GI mini reflex for Akimbo and you'll be using the 5 milliwatt laser instead of the 1 milliwatt. The difference stat-wise is better sprint to fire time and better hip fire spread. Other than that, everything will be the same. Its mobility stats are pretty good. Even with this gigantic drum mag, it has an amazing ADS time, and the reason I have it split here is because you actually lose your hip fire penalty at 150 milliseconds, but you can't really see your aligned sight until 200. So it's a little trade-off, but just know that you can immediately fire without losing any accuracy at 150 milliseconds. Its reload time isn't the best for a pistol, but I mean, you do have an 80 round mag. The mag size is amazing. Movement speed is just shy of 300, so almost perfect. Its sprint speed is pretty good. ADS spray speed could be a little better, but it works for what it is. Sprint out time is pretty amazing. Stability is not really good. Its velocity is really bad as well. And its rate of fire is absolutely amazing. As for recoil, well, look for yourself. If you do an 80 round mag dump, it's not gonna look that great. But if you restrict yourself to only 30 rounds, it looks a lot more manageable. Don't worry, I'll be covering the Akimbo Recoil and comparing it to the normal recoil later in the video. And in this lazily done recoil chart, you can see that its aiming stability is greatly affecting the recoil. Since the gun is moving left to right so much, the recoil will do exactly the same. If it weren't for this, it would definitely be getting a better score than it does get, but because of this, it only gets a 9 out of 50. Damage is what most people know about this gun. It's got a great time to kill, especially up close. I mean, really only up close, because its damage drop-off is at 13.2 meters with the monolithic suppressor. So yeah, don't try to use this at long range, even though it should get a good time to kill after that, but the recoil won't let you do that. Because you have to wait for the hammer to strike, it adds 2 frames to your firing time, and this does kind of affect your time to kill based on when you hit the fire button. It still doesn't manage to beat an FFAR up close, but it is very close. So if you fire first, you're probably going to get the kill. So if you add up the score, it gets a total of 105.44. I'm grading it like an SMG, so let's compare it to other SMGs. Here you can see the AUG 556, the Fennec, MP5, and the AS Val because it pretty much is an SMG and it can definitely beat an FFAR. The AS Val definitely has a higher damage score because it's an assault rifle and it doesn't suffer as much of a damage penalty at longer ranges, but because its recoil is really poor, it's very unlikely that you're ever going to be able to get that time to kill. And then when we add the Sykov, well, its mobility matches the others, its recoil kind of closer to the AS Val than the others, its damage is better than the other SMGs but not as good as the AS Val, so it fits pretty nicely into the mix. So what's the problem? This is a sidearm, it's not an SMG. An SMG is a primary, so you're gonna beat everything with literally anything you can just slap on without overkill. And if you want to get it even more broken, let's talk about Akimbo. Let's skip over recoil and go straight into damage. Well, it's all green. You can kill things basically in half the time as the normal fast killing guns can kill. It's unlikely that you're going to be able to hit anything past 13 meters, so you can ignore anything past the first damage range, but if you could hit those things, you would be basically unstoppable. So now you got basically the fastest killing gun in the game that you can put on in any class because no overkill. So for recoil, yeah, it's not that great, but remember, this is definitely for under 10 meters. Just whatever you do, make sure to fire them at the same time. If you don't, this will happen. When using these at a little bit longer range, basically not point blank, you're gonna have a little harder time hitting things and you're probably still gonna get a kill, but if you're dealing with a team by yourself, you're probably gonna run into an ammo situation. At a slightly longer range and with only one, you're gonna have a much easier time controlling the recoil. And at that same closer range, you're going to have an extremely easy time staying on target. So my advice is, if you're playing super aggressive and you tend to go point blank into buildings and try to take out a team, then go dual wield, go for it. But if you're more passive and like to play medium to long range, just keep one of them as a sidearm and get ready for a situation that may come up that you would need an SMG or a shotgun for. It may not have the same time to kill, but if they're using anything but another Sykov or I guess an R90, you're probably going to win that fight. I absolutely expect them to nerf this when the new season comes out, but if I had a choice in how to do this, I would first nerf the mobility stats when using the 80 round drum mag, and I would probably add somewhere between 50 and 100 milliseconds to the time to kill, just to make it a little bit more fair so that actual SMGs are more desirable. So what do you think of the Sykov pistol? Do you think it's overpowered? Are you running it in dual form? And are you going to try it in its singular form like I suggested? Please let me know what you do in the comment section down below. But that's the video. If you enjoyed it or if it's taught you anything, leave a like. If you got any questions or comments, put them down in the comment section down below. And if you want to make sure that you never miss another video, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.